I wrote this tune for a friend of mine. He was texting me about how the clouds were following him everywhere, and I feel like sometimes clouds are happy like Bob Ross, but sometimes they're dark and following you. And I think music is kind of one of those things that can hit the nail on the middle of between those two worlds, and it's ended up being called Clouds. We're going to do a tune of Matt's. It's such a pleasure to play with Matt, one of my very favorite mandolin players, who happens to be one of my very favorite banjo players. What a combo.
Doesn't get out much. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. It really is so much fun to play here, and the atmosphere is always so welcoming, and thanks for being part of that. How many saw us last time we were here, this particular... All right, and you came back. All 5 of you came. All right, awesome. Well, we're glad you're back again, and glad to be back. We got a few tunes we hadn't played probably on that show. I think we did do this one. This is... I think I can say this because the Patriots are out of the playoffs, as are any New York teams, right? So, well, except for Buffalo. But this was written in the excitement of a Green Bay Packers football game. Hey, all right. It was a while ago. I'm back to where I can root for them with a clear conscience again, and I'm very happy that they're in the playoffs this year. And this was in a fit of enthusiasm, I think in 2013 maybe. It's called Raji's Romp. You can picture a 338-pound lineman catching an interception and running in for a touchdown. That's a pretty good visual for if you want a visual of this for this tune. So, or just enjoy your food and drink, and hopefully help you digest. Right? Called Raji's Romp. 1, 2.
enigmatic tune that I learned from a folk singer up in Canada. It's about meeting a false knight on the road with a K.
Said the night on the road, I go to meet my God, said the child as he stood. And he stood, he were well that he stood. I go to meet my God, said the child as he stood. How would you go by land, said the night on the road, with a good staff in my hand, said the child as he stood. And he stood, he were well that he stood. With a good staff in my hand, said the child as he stood. How would you go by sea, said the night on the road, with a good boat under me, said the child as he stood. And he stood, he were well that he stood. With a good boat under me, said the child as he stood. I hear a ringing of the bell, said the night on the road. They're ringing you to hell, said the child as he stood. And he stood, he were well that he stood. They're ringing you to hell, said the child as he stood.
Well, we're going to do a tune I wrote. This is a tune I wrote on the way home from a gig I was playing out in Western Mass with Jonathan Edwards, a lovely dude. And on my way back east to Boston, where I was living, my car broke down. As I was entering the town of Palmer, Massachusetts, and it didn't seem like an optimistic time for me. It was freezing and it was dark, and I didn't know anybody, and I was kind of feeling a little dark about the whole situation. And I called our friend, who's kind of a mechanic guy, and told him about the situation and asked him what to do, and he said, "Joe, it sounds like you're at the beginning of a zombie movie." But contrarily to my expectations, as I was trying to figure out what to do there in the town of Palmer, Massachusetts, many people came to try and help me figure out what the problem was and get on my way. And I eventually made it home and wrote this tune, and it's called Palmer. Thanks so much.
Hang down your head and cry, for we often do some things in life that makes us wonder why. The fairest love I ever knew now sleeps beneath the clay I live
someday. Look up, look down this lonesome road. Hang down your head and cry. For we often lose some things in life that makes us wonder why. I often sit and wonder why life has to be this way. But after all is said and done, I'm sure God has her say. Look up, look down this lonesome road. Hang down your head and cry. For we often lose some things in life that will make us wonder why. With some few things to achieve, just to know I've been a fruitless cause would make my poor heart grieve. And when they lower my casket down in some lonesome grave to rest, and you take your last look at my face, you can say I did my best. Look up, look down this lonesome road. Hang down your head and cry. For we often lose some things in life that makes us wonder why. Well, we got to do a great David Grisman song since we got the two mandolins out. So here's one of his, one of our heroes, called Janice.